The XtraGrid allows you to perform custom painting of card field value cells. This can be extremely useful in providing a better visual representation by using different colors or paint to distinguish categories, numbers, and total values. In this video, you'll learn how to implement the code in the Custom Draw Card Field Value event handler to apply custom painted backgrounds to the card field values. So let's get started. I'll start with the WinForms application. I drop a grid control and dock it to fill the entire forms area. I open its Smart Tag and invoke the Data Source Configuration Wizard. I'll keep Database as the data source type. I'll create a connection to the sample Northwind database file. I select the Ordered Details table to supply data to the grid. I close the Data Source Configuration Wizard to return to Visual Studio. Click the link and change the current view to a card view. For this demo, I'm going to add an additional unbound field to each card. That field will be used to display the total value of each order. To do this, I run the Grid's designer and switch to the Columns page. I add a new column and set its caption, field name, and name properties accordingly. In this case, I will use subtotal for all three. Since the column is not bound to an existing database column, I'll set its unbound type property to decimal. And finally, I'll expand the display format property and set its format string to C2. This will format the field's value and display it as currency with 2 decimal places. Now I'm done with the column customization, so I close the designer. Since the subtotal column is not bound to any data, I will have to populate it manually. To do this, I handle the Custom Unbound Column Data event. I'll add the following code to calculate the total for each card and display it in the subtotal column. I switch back to Design View. Now I'm going to implement the code to apply custom painting to the card fields. For this, I need to handle the Custom Draw Card Field Value event of the card view. First, I'm going to reference the system.drawing.drawing2d and devexpress.xtragrid.views.base namespaces since I will need them later. I go back to the event handler and create a brush to fill the cell background. As you can see, it is a gradient that goes from aquamarine to a somewhat darker green called dark sea green. At this point, all the fields on each card will be painted using this gradient. For this demo, I'm going to fill the new subtotal column we created earlier with a different color. This code will apply a white to blue gradient to the subtotal field. Additionally, it will set the font to a bold and the font color to indigo. I add the code to fill the cell backgrounds with the specified brush and apply the text formatting for the subtotal field. Finally, the handled property is set to true so that no default processing occurs for the fields. And that's it. I run the application to see the results. You can see that all the bound fields have been filled with the green gradient, while the unbound subtotal field has the light blue gradient. For more information, please refer to the XtraGrid's documentation. Thanks for watching, and thank you for choosing DevExpress.